Let's move on to our next interview now, though, and we're going to be talking about AI. We've had so many AI conversations certainly since I've been presenting here at CapeTalk, because it's infiltrating our everyday lives in so many ways. But here's an interesting perspective on AI. Globally, there are too few women involved in AI. Now, that may not seem like a problem on the surface of it, but from what I understand, AI is still a product of human architecture at this point, touch wood. And that means if there are not enough women involved in that architecture, what is happening to women's representation out there in the AI space? Well, to explain more about this, I'm delighted to say good afternoon and welcome to Professor Johan Steyn, Human-Centered AI Advocate. I love your title, Prof. Thanks very much for joining us.
Amy, great to be with you. Thank you.
What do you mean by Human-Centered AI Advocate? You're batting for us.
I'm betting for humans in an age where AI is becoming smarter than we are. Look, the work I do is all about the importance of humans and our own values in an age of rapidly advancing technology. Let's leverage the technology, but let's not forget about people and how important we are. Think about job displacements, biases, women that we're going to talk about today. I just want to bring people back to the importance of human beings. Even though AI is great, it's not as smart as we think it is, though.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I do like to believe that ultimately AI is what humans are creating it to be still at this point. There may be a point where it's going to take over on its own, but from what I understand at this point, it is what humans are building it to be. And we need it to be more gender equitable.
Look, absolutely. It's like all the tools we've created for thousands of years, a reflection of who we are. We essentially create in our own image. But now we're creating something that's more powerful than we've ever created, and that will change the world in ways, especially for our children, that we could never have imagined before. Hence the biases, the traditional ideas about the importance of women, certain ethnicities, all those biases, call it colonial biases, is becoming even more powerful now because this technology is becoming so powerful. So it's just a rallying call for me to say, let's not fear this technology, let's use it for good, but let's not be caught asleep at the wheel and assume that the past injustices we have seen across the world for so long will not become more of a problem. In fact, it will be, because this technology is so important and so powerful.
Prof, if we look at the numbers, it's released in the Global Gender Gap Report of 2023. What does it look like in terms of men v. women working in AI?
Yeah, look, the stats that I have is that only 22% of professionals working in data science, artificial intelligence, are women. That's a very small percentage. Only 30% of women in Africa who receive STEM education, that's science, technology, engineering, mathematics, only 30% of those are women. But in Africa, and here's the most shocking stat I've seen, only 3% of new entrants into the field of AI and data science in Africa are women. Now, if we are building something that represents us and that's for the good of all of us, we seriously need to do something regarding the education, the mentoring, the opportunities, the finance, the sponsorships of women to be involved. Because as a dude, I'm going to build an AI system that it reflects me, but it could absolutely harm people of different ethnicities and different genders. So I often tell my clients, make sure that the core team that builds these systems are multidisciplinary. So you need HR, legal, organizational design, and other people involved. But you need people who are different sexual preferences, different ethnicities, different genders, because it will just reflect who we are. And we have biases. We all have. That's a very human thing. As long as you are aware of those biases. We have these AI tools are doing what we call automated decisioning, whether it's credit decisions, medical care, educational decisions. It will make decisions based on the people who built it. Here's a good example. Facial recognition still today struggles to properly identify female faces and people of darker skin tones. And I'm a white dude, and I can say this, it's built by white dudes in Silicon Valley. We need diversity, and it's not because of anything other than the future of our children. I just don't want to be, one day when my 10-year-old is an adult, to look back and say, Dad, you and your generation really screwed this up. It's not serving us for the good. So this is serious stuff.
Prof, I have so many more questions I'd love to ask you. I want to know why there aren't enough women, but perhaps we can schedule a part 2 of this conversation another time, because unfortunately we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Can we have 7 more parts? We'll chat soon.
Let's do it. Professor Johan Steyn, human-centered AI advocate.